Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be telling you guys my birth story from when I gave birth to Lake. That was my first time giving birth, obviously. I don't have any other kids. Okay, let's start at 40 weeks. So I was 40 weeks pregnant, or 41 weeks pregnant, I think. And my doctor decided to induce me. So I went to the hospital and I got induced, not with Pitocin or anything like that, but it's like this little thing that they put inside of you. You might start to feel contractions. Like it could be within 30 minutes, it could be within 24 hours, it could be within a couple of days. It really depends. So we went into the hospital not really knowing what to expect, but they inserted the little thing and then they sent us home. So I went home, I was feeling good all day. It wasn't until towards the evening I started to feel really tired. I think I went to bed like super early because I just felt exhausted. And at around, oh man, I don't know the times, but I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm gonna say probably like 2, I think, 2:30 or 3 or something like that. And I started to feel just like uncomfortable. I kind of felt like maybe I had gas or something. So I kept like rolling around, going back to sleep, whatever. And then I was like, no, you know what? This feels a little different. I feel like I need to stand up. So I stood up and I was like, all right, well, it feels better to stand up. Went to the bathroom, then I was like, ooh, I feel like these might be contractions. I don't know. I was like, I had a lot to eat tonight, so maybe I just like have gas or something. So I started doing like laps around, not running, but I was like walking around the staircase just like over and over again. And I did that for like 30 minutes. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I think I might be in labor. I was so like dumb in the situation. Like I had no idea what was going on, even though I had just gotten induced. So then I let Clint sleep because I knew that if I was in labor, he was gonna be awake for a long time. So I thought. I walked upstairs and I knocked on my mom's door. She was sleeping and I was like, Mom, I think I might be in labor. And she was like, okay, we'll just go downstairs and get a glass of water or whatever, and I'll come and time your contractions and we'll see if you're in labor. So I go downstairs and I didn't even get a glass of water. I just started circling the island and my mom comes down and she's down there for like maybe 2 minutes and she was like, oh yeah, we gotta go to the hospital. So I was like, really? She's like, yeah, your contractions are pretty close together. We gotta go to the hospital. So I go downstairs, I'm like taking my time. I wake Clint up. I'm like, Clint, I'm in labor. We gotta go. He like gets up, he grabs our things, he takes my suitcase and puts it in the car. I was sitting in the back and I remember I had the seatbelt on me. It was so uncomfortable. Every time I had a contraction, I would pull the seatbelt away like this. So I had a few intense ones in the car. So we get to the hospital, we walk in. At first you get put into like this little, like you don't get put into a room just yet. You're still on the pregnancy floor. You don't get a room right away until you're certain however many centimeters dilated. So we're in like this little area. They check me, you know, they put the little band over, they check the heartbeat.
Hey, look at it. I'm because I'm coming right-handed. I deliver left-handed, but I examine right-handed.
And so I'm laboring in this little area where there's like a couch and a shower and things like that. I'm walking and I'm breathing every contraction. Like I had to walk, and well, it was more like a waddle. I'll insert the clip of one contraction I was having.
Don't squeeze your eyes, honey.
I'm not
She doesn't look like she's what?
pregnant at all.
So yeah, it was kind of like a waddle. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to go for a walk. I don't feel like I want to stay in here. I was like, I'm gonna go and walk around the hospital. So Clint came with me and I think we did maybe 1 lap around the floor, that floor.
Hey guys, so it's 5:11 right now in the morning, and we just got to the hospital, and Sid is having contractions I'd say every 45 seconds. And we're just...
You're lucky I'm not having one right now or I'd be murdering him.
We're kind of like a little on edge. We're sort of thinking to ourselves, like, could this baby come at any moment? Things are starting to really heat up here. And if you look from this angle, she doesn't even look pregnant, right? She just sort of looks like she's maybe high stress. High stress at the workplace. I don't know. Maybe. From this angle, you would never know that anything was really happening in that pregnant part. You see? And from this angle, that's when we really can tell that things are happening. So, anyways, that's our first segment of setting Clint's first.
And then by that point I was like, okay, no, I gotta go back to the room. This is getting too intense. So we went back into like the little waiting area. I was having really strong contractions. I was sitting on the ball, bouncing on the ball. Clint and I went and we sat in the shower for a bit. And that was probably the best part for me. Just sitting in the shower with the water falling on me, on my back. And I was sitting on the ball too still while in the shower. Don't ask me how I wasn't like slipping around like crazy, but I was sitting on the ball in the shower. That was my favorite part. If I could have an at-home birth in a bathtub, I would totally do that. For the next one, I would totally do that. Okay, you guys, this is gonna get a little TMI, just so you know. So if you don't want to hear this, then you might want to stop watching now, because a lot of information is gonna be shared with you guys. One thing that my body did do was the worst part for me. It was terrible. I hated this part. So by this point, my body started to get rid of everything, if you know what I mean. I was having these intense contractions, and I had to go and sit on the toilet, and my body was just like getting rid of everything. It was so terrible because it was like I was having contractions sitting on the toilet, so my stomach was in pain, and then on top of that I was extremely nauseous. So the smell was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you guys. This is so embarrassing. But this is what happens. My body was releasing. It was terrible. It just was not good. The smell was bad. I wanted it to end. It was hurting. I didn't like sitting on the toilet and having contractions. It was uncomfortable. So once that was done, I was like, thank God. So then I went and got checked, and finally I was however many centimeters dilated I needed to be in order to go into my room. So we had all our stuff, and I remember by this point I was wearing Clint's t-shirt and no underwear. We walked to our room. Don't remember walking to our room because my eyes were closed. For some reason, my eyes were closed for a lot of the whole labor part of everything. But what I do remember is that once I got into the room, it was like game time. My contractions were so close together, very intense. I could actually feel how close he was. It was the weirdest thing. The majority of my labor, I labored on a bouncing ball. I was on a ball and I was moving my hips like around like this. Clint's brother, Dave, said that in the waiting room, he could hear me like moaning, but it sounded like I was like singing, like chanting kind of, because yelling just like was not working. Yelling never works, screaming never works. What my mom told me to do was to just picture what your baby is doing, all the hard work that it's doing, and just put all of your energy onto the baby. And that really helped. I was breathing through the pain with my eyes closed while picturing the baby and feeling the baby move. Really helped me. Another thing that my mom did was I had a lot of back labor, so she got a heating pad, put it on my back while I was on the ball doing this, and she was rubbing my back at the same time. There was one point where I was on the ball, leaning over the bed, holding on to Clint's hands, squeezing his hands, and that was really nice too, like leaning over on the bed, and then my mom was rubbing my back while I was holding on to Clint. I also hated having to get onto the bed for them to check me because it was so uncomfortable, because having a contraction laying on your back is just not fun. So they checked me, and I don't even remember how many centimeters dilated I was, not enough for me to start pushing. So I get back on the ball, you know, I'm laboring, and then I just like knew something was up. I started throwing up. It was so intense. I started vomiting. Honestly, it sounds terrible that I was vomiting, but it was really weird. It kind of felt better to vomit. I could focus on me vomiting and not the pain that was happening. It was kind of like a distraction, kind of. I know it's weird. I've never said that I've liked vomiting before, but in that situation, I kind of did. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I wanted an epidural. Once I got into my room, I asked for the epidural. I was like, yes, please, I will have the epidural. By the time that I stopped vomiting, got onto the bed for the nurse to check me, the person to come and give me my epidural was there. So yeah, I was asking me all these questions, and then he left the room. The nurse came back, checked me, I ruptured, and I was ready to push. I'm gonna show you guys a clip here of the nurse telling me that I need to push. And then I mumble, I'm like, I'm not getting the epidural. And the nurse is like, no. And then I said a swear word. So here's the clip of me swearing.
So just relax his legs. Am I having a epidural? No. Oh, fuck. No.
I was really nervous, obviously. I'd never done this before. I didn't know how to push a baby out of my body. My mom was there, Clint was there, I had a great nurse. I had a lot of support around me. So by this point, I just started pushing.
Yeah, Clint, can I have your hand? Go on the other side. Hold your breath in, push into your bum. Good job, that's a really good push.
first day.
You guys have good pelvises.
Yeah.
Can I push?
Yes, we
Yeah.
No, that's the way.
Good.
Into your bottom.
You can pull those. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the way. Good. Nice. Good job.
4, 5. And relax,
Yeah.
these. That's the way. 10. Really good. Grab your legs. That's the way. Relax these legs.
Relax them.
Relax.
There
That's
you
the
go.
way.
Good job. Good job. Relax, relax. That's that burning is here in the right spot. Take a rest. It sounds like you're done.
You just tell me what you want. Thank you.
Good. Right into it. Good job. Good job.
What was that heart rate?
Perfect. It wasn't really true. So. Good. Keep your breath. Keep your legs nice and relaxed. Good job. The running go through. That's the way.
Up and hold it.
Good job. Relax these legs out. That's perfect. Lots of room for baby. I'm not push, okay?
I pushed Lake out in a matter of 10 minutes. I had my eyes closed the entire time, and my mom had to remind me once Lake was out. She was like, Sydney, look. And I like opened my eyes for a second and I was like, it's a boy. And then I put my head back and I just relaxed. It was such a relief to have him out. And the nurse pulled up my shirt and she put Lake on top of me. Clint cut the cord.
Okay, do you want to cut the cord? Okay, so just between the two metals. Right there. Congratulations, too.
It was just, it was the best. It was the best moment of my life. The connection between Clint and I, seeing Lake. If you haven't given birth, you probably won't understand what I'm talking about. It's a feeling that's really hard to describe. It's the most amazing, crazy thing that you'll ever do in your entire life. Even with all the pain that I went through and everything like that, I mean, I'm doing it again, I'm pregnant again. It's the most amazing thing, and it's something that I will never, ever forget, ever. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, I love telling my birth story. It holds a really dear place in my heart. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. Also, go ahead and push that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so that the next time I post a video, you guys will be notified. If you guys have any questions about my whole birth process or anything like that, you guys can leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. And as always, stay beautiful inside and out, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.